How are you guys? So I'm Jake with East Coast Polishing. This right here is my 2018 Duty pickup truck. The truck was a Lariat F-250 that I pretty much got this crazy idea. Started as a joke of polishing out a fender that was all dented up, and seems the internet turned it into something that I needed to do. So being that process, we actually chemically stripped this truck, chemically stripped all of the paint off of it, including the underside of the hood, the door jambs, and pretty much anything that we physically could polish. And through that, we went through an entire polishing process. Took roughly around 200 hours to get the finish where I was happy with it. And now we're out here at the SEMA show, getting to kind of show it off and showcase our work. So I'm pretty excited about that.
What are we running lift-wise suspension?
For lift-wise, we have a Poppy's Garage 8-inch lift on here. With that being, we paired it up with the carbon shock kit. The reason I chose those were actually a stainless shock. So with that stainless shock, I could actually sand all the mill out of it, polish it, just to give the suspension of the truck a little extra pop from just the layovers on it.
I see JTX forged. Is there a reason why you chose them?
JTX is actually someone that I always really wanted to work with. I felt like they were a really personalized company, a company where you could actually talk with people. And JTX was one that Mrs. Lacey Blair, who did all of my powder coat work, actually was able to set me up, get me in contact with JP and Chris. And JP and Chris actually were a huge part of this build and helping sponsor me with a great set of wheels. And their customer support has been awesome for me as I'm looking to kind of go a little bit bigger and change the look of the truck already.
Yeah. Talking about powder coating, we got a lot of powder coat. You got the springs powder coated, a lot of the drivetrain powder coated, diff covers powder coated. Is there anything we're missing that's powder coated that's kind of not pointing out at us right away?
Offhand, no, there's nothing outrageous done yet for powder coat. Lacey Blair did all of this from stripping down the axles to the actual powder coating process itself. And as you see next to us, they have a gorgeous ride that they're showcasing.
Oh yeah.
They're someone I looked for because just their reputation of an incredible process of work. They lay powder very flat and they do a correct job. So that's why I went to them. I think they did a killer job on this powder. It's actually a UV reactive powder. So HTX Lighting actually had sponsored this build with black light rock lights. They were one of the big parts of this. So the entire underside of the truck at night actually glows in the dark, surprisingly.
Wow. Wow. And then did we end up doing, I know I saw a quick video, did you guys end up doing the fast lift pump polished as well?
Yep, so this fast lift pump, it's actually impossible to see because it's so buried up there, but the actual fast itself is a polished fast pump. That was something I'd never seen before, and they're built out of a really high quality aluminum. So I did polish the fast and the filters. The filters, unfortunately, had a little bit of steel in them, so I started kind of rusting and oxidizing before the show, so quickly I got those white ones on there. Plus, I'd like to represent them loud and proud, and I feel like that's what their filters do.
Great. Yeah, really just great build. What I personally love about it is the fact that it just wasn't, you know, done quick and easy. You went through the painstaking whole process of taking down the paint, you polished it, and then even going as far as polishing the inside of the cab, right?
Yeah, so the door jambs were a really big part of the process. Those were really hard. You have to actually physically remove the doors and all the door skins. Everything from the interior had to get removed to be able to strip all of that correctly and polish it. Personally, myself, I'm not exactly thrilled with them. There's still a little bit more of the process I have to do on them. Removing the skin, and I want to get the latches off and powder coat all the latches, actually, the same exact color as the lift, just to go that little extra mile for the little details. That's the one thing I really tried hitting with this truck was just the small details and the small end of things. Simple stuff like making an aluminum fuel door. The next thing on our list is our aluminum cab corners that we're working on right now. We're having those CNC'd using Maryland Diesel Performance. So I'm very excited to be partnered up with them and creating some of the aluminum projects.
Yeah. Like I said, just great build at the end of the day, Jake. Is there anything you might be missing shout out wise, anybody?
The last thing I'd like to shout out, honestly, a major thing would be Magnum back racks. They came up with this rack idea for me and I absolutely love the rack. That's one of my favorite things on the truck that just makes it. Me personally, I like work trucks. It's always been a work truck, I've always been around work trucks. And I think Magnum knocked it out of the park with this back rack with no center to it. I thought it was a really sharp thing and honestly, I love it.
Great. That's Jake Larson guy here at SEMA 2024. We're excited to see his project, have our SEMA diff covers on it, and really represent all the brands that he's put together here. Thank you.
Thank you.